You feel it before you can explain it. That tight pressure in your chest when someone demands an explanation, not because you did something wrong, but because you made a choice. Here is the truth most people never tell you. Constantly explaining yourself slowly destroys your power, and manipulators rely on this habit to control you. If you have ever rehearsed a reason before speaking, this is not about communication. This is about survival conditioning. Always explaining yourself feels polite, reasonable, mature, but psychologically, it comes at a cost. A cost paid in energy, confidence, and self-trust. Most people never notice it happening because it feels normal. You say no, then you explain. You set a boundary, then you justify it. You change your mind, then you apologize for it. And slowly, your choices stop feeling like choices. They start feeling like negotiations. This pattern usually starts early, often in childhood, where safety depended on justification, where emotions were questioned, where boundaries were debated, where silence was punished. You learn something critical. Being understood equals being safe. So you learn to narrate yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your motives. You became fluent in self-defense language. But here is the part no one warned you about. Healthy people do not require constant explanations. They accept boundaries without cross-examination. Manipulative people do the opposite. They treat explanations as openings. Every reason you give becomes leverage. A handle they can grab, a detail they can challenge. You say, "I cannot come because I am tired." They hear, "Convince me otherwise." You say, "I need time." They hear, "Push harder." You say, "This does not work for me." They hear, "Negotiate your limits." Overexplaining sends a dangerous signal. It signals that your no is flexible, that your boundary is provisional. That pressure might change your mind. And psychologically, pressure follows permission. This is where the real cost begins. Each explanation pulls you away from yourself. You stop asking, "What do I need?" and start asking, "What will satisfy them?" Your nervous system stays activated, always anticipating, always preparing, always defending. This creates chronic mental fatigue, decision fatigue, emotional exhaustion. You are not tired because you do too much. You are tired because you over-justify. You carry conversations long after they end. You replay your words. You edit yourself in your head. You wonder if you said too much or not enough. This is not communication. This is psychological labor, and no one is paying you for it. Over time, this habit erodes self-respect. Because explaining implies permission-seeking. It implies your choices require approval, even when you are right, even when your boundary is reasonable, even when no explanation is owed. There is another hidden cost most people miss: identity erosion. When you constantly explain yourself, you define yourself through reactions instead of values, instead of principles, instead of choice. Your sense of self becomes externalized. Who you are depends on who is listening. That is not authenticity. That is adaptation. And manipulators are experts at exploiting adapters. They ask questions that sound harmless. Why would you feel that way? Why can't you just explain? If you have nothing to hide, why not clarify? These are not requests for understanding. They are tests of compliance. Each explanation feeds the cycle. They learn how to destabilize you. Which words trigger guilt? Which reasons make you hesitate? Which emotions make you fold? Eventually, you explain things that need no explanation. Your tone, your facial expression, your silence, your rest, your growth, your distance. That is when self-abandonment begins. But here is the reframe that changes everything. You are not obligated to be understood by everyone. Understanding is not a prerequisite for respect. You can be misunderstood and still be right. You can be disliked and still be aligned. You can be silent and still be clear. The most grounded people do not over-explain. They state. They pause. They allow discomfort to exist. They do not rush to fill silence, because silence reveals intent. Those who respect you adjust. Those who control you push. That distinction matters. If someone reacts badly to your boundary, that reaction is information. Explaining over it erases that data. It smooths over red flags. It teaches people that pressure works. So what is the alternative? Not coldness, not cruelty. Clarity without defense. Statements without justification. I'm not available. That does not work for me. I have decided otherwise. No footnotes, no emotional apology tour. This will feel uncomfortable at first, because your nervous system expects backlash, it expects punishment. But something shifts when you stop explaining. The power dynamic changes. You stop chasing understanding. Others must choose how to respond. Some will respect you more, some will exit. Both outcomes protect your energy. Your mind grows quieter. Fewer rehearsals, fewer imaginary arguments, more presence, more internal alignment. This is not about winning conversations. It is about reclaiming psychological territory, your time, your attention, your self-trust. Overexplaining is often framed as kindness, but real kindness includes yourself. You are allowed to exist without narrating yourself. You are allowed to choose without convincing. You are allowed to say no without evidence. The moment you stop over-explaining, you stop performing innocence. You stop negotiating your worth. You step out of the courtroom and back into your life. Pay attention to the next urge to explain. Pause before you speak. Ask yourself one question. Am I sharing or am I defending? That answer changes everything.